Ooh. Hello there. Sorry I'm yawning right at the beginning of the video. But I've been listening to these albums. They're so boring. They've been putting me to sleep, to be honest. What's this video about? Well, on this video, I'm going to present to you my new haircut that I've had. I've had a new haircut. I think I look very smart now. What do you think? You know, starting to look a little bit younger. That's my intention. When I don't want to look as old. You know, when I had the big Einstein hair and the white pointy beard, I thought, you don't like that look, you know. So I've changed it, changed my glasses as well. Got some different glasses on. Still got the old glasses, might go back to them, but I've got these glasses as well. So I think I've got a different look going on. What's this video about? 10 albums that are rubbish that I bought because the critics said they were masterpieces. Right? Or actually, it could be, to simplify that, 10 rubbish albums that they said were good. I think I'm going to go with that. And the they will be in quotes. Because people always tell you albums are good, don't they? You know, it's not just the critics. It could just be the mainstream culture where everyone's bought this album, it's gone to #1, you've got to own it. Or your mates might say, oh, you've got to check this album, it's amazing. And you find yourself toddling off and you actually spend your money and buy the album. Now, I've done this many a time and I've just gone and fished out 10 that I actually spent my money on and bought and I really don't like. And these albums I've dealt with before, but the difference was I could have just been picking albums out at random. I want to show that I actually have bought these albums and I've listened to them. Well, not all of them. Sometimes I've been given the albums because they're so important that you have to listen to them. If you've seen any of those old videos before, or, you know, my other 10 worst albums ever made videos, then don't worry, because I'm not going to be saying the same stuff. And I'm going to come at this with a different tack. I am really going to be exploring the idea of how stupid I am to have gone and bought it. I'm going to take my jacket off, it's getting a bit hot. So I've got the albums here, 10 of them. Now what's interesting, I've gone through my vinyl albums that I bought when I was young. None there. They're all albums I like. Once you get to CDs, I'm older, 30s and 40s. I'm buying these albums, and I know I'm buying them because I think I should own them. Right? It's not about me just loving the music. Now it's all got sort of a slightly pretentious. And I think that's what I don't like. It's the slightly pretentious people out there that read certain magazines, go on certain websites, look at certain top 10s and go, oh, well, everyone says this is a masterpiece, so it must be a masterpiece. So they actually go and buy it and they put it in their collection and they won't admit that it's boring, but it is boring, right? And they're only liking it because they've been told to like it, right? I've covered a lot of these albums before, like I said. But I think I want to get into the nooks and crannies of these 10 albums here that I own. You see, these are my albums. I own them. Right, let's start in the order that they just happen to come out with. Right, The Who. Who's next? Many people think it's their greatest album. Definitely one of the greatest albums of the 70s. Classic cover. Brilliant. I think the cover's absolutely brilliant. It's got Baba O'Reilly on it. It's got Bargain, Love Ain't for Keeping, My Wife, The Song Is Over, Getting in Tune, Going Mobile, Behind Blue Eyes, Won't Get Fooled Again, that's great, yeah. Pure and Easy, Baby Don't Do It Again, Naked, I'm in the same ones. Oh, it's one of those CDs where they give you the Water, Too Much of Anything, I don't even know, anyway, I don't even know how any of these go, and I've listed it quite a few times. So, The Who, right? The Who. Okay, let's deal with this. Do I like The Who? Yes, I love The Who. They're great, right? I'll show you my favourite album by The Who. I haven't prepared this. It's over in, which section would it be in? You wait there, you lot. I know this isn't very slick. I'll find it though. I will find it. It's not going to be in that section, is it? Where is it? There we go, got it. Sorry about that, leaving you there like that. You do know that I derive a perverse pleasure by doing things that go on for too long on my YouTube videos. Where were we? Oh yeah, me deriving pleasure from things for going on for too long. I like those awkward spaces. I like the unprofessional things of me having to go on my hands and knees to get an album, because I should have planned it better, shouldn't I? But I didn't, and that's the way it is. That's my favourite Who album. It's called the Who's Better, Who's Best, right? And it's got My Generation on it, Anyway, Anyhow. And I'll go through the tracks I like here. My Generation, I love it. Anyway, and a brilliant song. The Kids Are All Right, and the Kids Are All Right. Lovely British song. Substitute, brilliant song. I'm a Boy. A bit dodgy nowadays, but I love that tune. I'm a boy, but my mom won't admit it. You know, I mean, that should be the song of a million children of lefty famous film stars out in America, isn't it, really? Happy Jack, great. Pictures of Lily, absolutely amazing. You know, I mean, it's a song about self-pleasure, isn't it? Pictures of Lily. This is when the Who were amazing. I Could See for Miles, one of the great songs ever written. Transcendental, sublime. Who Are You? Yeah, I don't like that one so much. Won't Get Fooled Again, great. Well, I've got that one in the ear, haven't I? But I've also got it in the ear on vinyl. Magic Bus, that's good. Psychedelic, I Can't Explain. Their first single, absolutely brilliant, really boppy and catchy. Pinball was a brilliant. I'm Free from Tommy. Daltrey's running, he's got no shirt on, he's going to run and run. He can run now because he can see, so he's not going to go run off a cliff or anything. It's really great. See Me, Feel Me, Tommy Gray. Squeeze Box, yeah, that's so good, is it? Join Together, I just rubbished it. You better. That's all right. But the thing is, on the whole, there's some really good Who songs. And on here, when I purchased this, the only other good Who song I got, as far as I'm concerned, was Baba O'Reilly, because all of these other ones, they're not good Who songs, right? What makes this so good? Are you saying that The Song Is Over is as good as I Can See for Miles, or My Wife is as good as Pinball Wizard? Come on, I like The Who. But why is this one supposedly so good? I tell you why. Because when it starts off, Baba O'Reilly is amazing. You put it on and go, oh my God, this is the best thing I've ever heard. And that's what people are like. They'll put the first track on, and if they go, you know, so basically, this album comes out, right? They're only gone away. Everyone goes, oh, The Who's brilliant. This is brilliant, you know. And I'm not saying it's a bad Who album. I'm just saying that it's not a mass. I'm just saying, I was let down by this. That's all I'm saying, right? I'm not saying it's terrible. You don't have to get upset if you like this. But why do you like it? I don't understand what you... can't you see there's a difference between the songs on here and the songs on, say, you know, an earlier album that's got good songs on it? I mean, if you go, yeah, but this is heavier and it's more rockier, well, go and get Live at Leeds, because that's even more heavier and rockier. What's the point in this one? Is it just the cover and the first track I Won't Get Fooled Again? They're both amazing. So that's what I got at number 10, is that one. Shall I move on to number 9 now? Right, there's not much I can say about this. It's the worst album ever made, and I've got a copy. I didn't actually buy it. This copy here that I was given to by Robert Plant, the lead singer of one of the greatest rock bands of all time. He gave me, he said, Andy, you have this, go and listen to it. Right, as though I should be educated in it. You'll like this. It's got like Connie Kay from the Modern Jazz Quartet and the great jazz bass player Richard Davis. Oh, I think that'll be good. I absolutely hate this record. As you know, anybody who's watched this, it's become a feature of the channel, my hatred of this album. What more can I say about it? Really? Madam George masterpiece. 9 minutes. 9-minute masterpiece. 9 minutes. Tried to like him, didn't I? Tim Bowness gave me another album to listen to. See, I've got 2 Van Morrison albums. I'm sure as time goes on, I want to end up with even more ones. There's one album I got told the other day. I think it's called Contractual Obligation. He made it in '67 just to get out of a contract, and he wrote a whole bunch of tunes. And they said you should check that out. And I thought, oh yeah, probably, because Van Morrison writing a whole bunch of tunes to get out of a contract. That's funny, that is. But here, rocking up in a studio and just doing the same 3 chords over and over again, isn't this just exactly the same thing, but without the humour? Yeah, you're having the, anybody who likes Van Morrison, right? You're having the wool pulled over your eyes. I promise you. Right, I'm not saying he's terrible. You might enjoy listening to him, but it's not great art. I promise you that. Everybody knows this. Absolutely rubbish. I don't even want to give it any justification. See, I don't even think it deserves that. Astral weeks. What the hell does that mean? What does it mean? Rubbish. Right, now we're going to get into purchases where I felt morally obliged to go and buy these albums because the critics say that they're the greatest albums ever made. You have to go and buy them. So I toddle down the shop, I find it. It's really expensive because they've done a new version of it or digitally remastered. So they actually, I really want to spend all this money on this, but I should do it because I would not be a true music aficionado without buying this album. And here's one here. Now, I'm not saying this is a bad album. I sort of quite like it. But I don't know. Can you believe I've got a copy of this? Can you believe that Andy Edwards went down a shop and with his hard-earned cash walked up and he didn't go and buy an album by, I don't know, John Patitucci or some obscure 70s prog band like England or something that he would have enjoyed, something, or even some Earth, Wind and Fire or something funky, or maybe something nice and rocking, something heavy, you know, a good Def Leppard album from the early 1980s, you know. But he didn't go and buy that, something he would have actually listened to. I'm talking about myself in the third person. This is the only way to explain this. But Andy Edwards at some point went in and said, hello, fine purveyor of fine music. I would like to purchase this album off you, please. And they went, oh, the Velvet Underground. And Nico. That's a masterpiece, that is. Yes, I believe it is. Can I impart my hard-earned cash to have it? Of course you can. Take it home and listen to it. Well, I was thinking of listening to it, but I was thinking of basically just putting it in the CD rack. So when people come around and they go, Andy's a music fan, and then they start looking at it, they go, why has he got all these AC/DC albums and dodgy funk albums? Oh, don't worry. He's got, look, he's got the Velvet Underground album. Sunday morning. I'm waiting for my man. I'm waiting for my man. Oh, God, I mean, just a bad song, rock song, isn't it, really? Venus in Furs, I like that. Heroin. I mean, God, Heroin. Who wants to listen to that? I mean, there's a part I can appreciate. I'm not stupid. I can appreciate how important it is when you listen to Heroin. You know, stick a needle in my vein. In fact, I'm going to recreate that, but with another subject matter, because I've had a problem, not quite like heroin, okay? Not like heroin. Nothing quite like, I got my guitar there, well, it'll be out of view. But I've had to wheedle myself off, basically, how would you describe it? Chocolate milk. I found myself, I would go out on the night, a bit of comfort, put a film on, I'd buy myself a bottle of chocolate milk, milkshake, you know, I don't know what you'd call it, you know, milk, but it's chocolate flavoured, brown chocolatey milk. And I would and buy myself a chocolate bar as well. And then I would go home and just devour that whilst watching the film, do it every single night. And I thought, this can't be doing you any good. Part of the reason why I think I look a little bit healthier is because I've knocked all that on the head. But instead of knocking it on the head like a sensible man, as I am, I could have written a sort of Velvet Underground style song about why I like it so much. So I'm going to do that now. I haven't planned this, of course, because with Velvet Underground, you don't need to, because the songs don't really need much planning, because they're shite. I go to the shop and buy myself some chocolate milkshake. I accompany it with a little chocolate bar. I take it home. I drink it straight out the bottle. It's pure brown gold. It's not golden, it's actually brown because it's chocolate milk. And as the milk goes into my tummy, I think, oh my God, this is yummy. I feel like I'm suckling the teeth of my mummy. And I say, lovely chocolate milk, it tastes like brown silk. And I will go to the shop and buy some more brown milk. 'Cause I'm waiting for my can of chocolate milk in a can, in a caravan. 'Cause I'm waiting for my nan with some more chocolate milk. She brings it every day. I call it the Milky Way. And I have to pay for the chocolate milk, 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 for the... Oh, bloody hell. See, I told you I enjoy it. I like things going on for too long, you see. It's obtuse. The last thing you should do on YouTube is that. You should never do that. Never do that. They see that just seemed too easy, really. If I could get some girl that does look like a boy with short hair in the back and give him a drum, I should have organised that. A small girl at the back just banging a drum endlessly while I did all that over the top. And then maybe get some Welsh bloke to screech some horrible violin and then record it in a tinny, horrible way because you ain't got the budgets to record it properly. And then you'll bang that out and then all the pretentious arty types will go, have you heard this album that Andy Edwards has done? Yes, I think it's a work of art. I do. Did you hear the one about the chocolate milk? Chocolate milk. I mean, when you get stuck into that stuff, it's very dangerous. And most bands don't have the guts to write a song about such things. But Andy Edwards wrote that right back in 2020. Do you hear about it? He brought everybody. I found it very moving when his nan arrived, almost like a drug pusher, pushing the chocolate milk on him and saying, you know, although I find it very surprising that Andy Edwards have a nan at his age. I mean, she would have to be about 120. So that's quite unbelievable. But that's the thing. He's able to spin out a fantasy world where you go, is this true or is it not true? It's incredible songwriting, incredible song. And I rang up my friends and said, you know, I thought we wouldn't be able to form a band having no musical talent or ability. But we've all got habits, haven't we? Yes, I've got all sorts of habits. And apparently Andy Edwards says you don't need to be, on heroin anymore to form a band like the Velvet Underground. You could just be addicted to chocolate milk or maybe scratching your bottom at night, you know. Yeah, because I've written a song called Stinky Finger, and it goes like this. I'll play it for you. I go to bed at night. I've just done a big shite. I got a itchy bum. I don't know what to do about it. I try to go asleep, but it's itching right down there. It's keeping awake at night. I don't know what to do, and it gives me bad dreams. Oh, bad dreams. My itchy bum, my itchy bum. I've had these bad dreams. Cause of my itchy bum, my itchy bum. And when I wake up in the morning, I can. I reach out my hand. I reach it up to my nose and I realize I got a sticky finger. Sticky finger. I could do those all day long, and I feel those of you have also been conned into buying this piece of rubbish, right? It's not rubbish. I like Venus in Furs. You know, have you finished your song about the heroin songs? Yeah. What have you got any other ones? I was thinking about doing a song about bondage. I'm surprised you're into all that bondage stuff if you're smacked out your face on heroin. How do you find the time to do all these hobbies? You know, I organise myself, you know, I try and do a bit of heroin in the morning, a bit of bondage in the afternoon, and the problem is that I spend half the day waiting for my man. What, have you been waiting for your man? Yeah, I've been waiting for my man. I have to go outside and wait for my man. So he comes along, and once I've waited for him, straight back home, bit of the old heroin, and then I do a bit of the bondage, and I found that that's not a good way round. I should perhaps do the bondage before the heroin, really. Oh, the Black Angels death song. What a load of pretentious rubbish. Pretentious rubbish. Oh, they're all here now. I'll get all these ones that the critics think are good in a row, and then we'll deal with the anomalies. There's a few anomalies I've got as well here. Right, so that was number 8. We're on to number 7 now. I've spoken about this at length. It's not a bad album, really. I did a whole video on it. Again, like Who's Next? First track's great. Then you have to go through all this rubbish, and it's a double album. You know, I've said how much I've tried to. I think it's rubbish, right? I know a lot of people you like it. Okay, they clash. See, I had to go and buy one of these expensive ones, restored, remastered, original artwork. Ooh, this exciting, isn't it? Ooh, I bought this album. Oh, look, it opens up like this. Look, I've got it all. You see, there, got all the lyrics here. All the lyrics. See, he's got a tune here called Hateful. Well, I got a friend who's a man. What man? The man who keeps me from the lonely. He gives me what I need. What you need, what you got. I need it all so badly. Oh, anything I want, he's... gives it anything I want, he gives it to me. Anything I want, he gives it to me, but not for free. It's hateful, and it's like he's just trying to be like Lou Reed, isn't he? He's waiting for his man. Now they're all waiting for their man. It's hateful in this case. Doesn't like it. You know, I don't believe they did any of that. Old Topper Headham did though, didn't they? I don't know. Were they druggies like Lou Reed was a druggie? Like the Clash, they probably were. They probably worked hard at doing that. You know. Spanish bombs. I mean, how could you be a posh boy like Joe Strummer and go and write a band like Spanish Bombs wearing your bloody pseudo I'm in the army with my black beret? I mean, it's all so stupid. I mean, come on. Who falls for this? Spanish songs in Andalusia, the shooting sites in the days of 39. Oh, please leave the Vendana open. Federico Lorca is dead and gone. I mean, who writes songs like this? It's proper lefty rubbish, isn't it? Lefty nonsense. Look at them. I'm going to smash my guitar because I'm a lefty. Tell you about 1939. Federico Lorca. Right, it's not a bad album. It's not a bad album at all. It's just not that good an album. I find it really boring. But I'm saying the truth here on this one. I've got into depth and got all hateful. I'm not going to get hateful. They're hateful. I'm not going to be hateful. But that is a boring album. Right, another one that I've actually went out and bought. And I listened to, and I can remember the first few listens, I was going, oh, this is brilliant, oh my God, this is so good. I really like this, it's really brilliant. I'm not actually enjoying it that much, but it is brilliant. And I did like that one tune, and I like that tune, but the rest they're getting on my nerves. And how long does this album go on for? It goes on for a long time. And it is, of course, this album. Yeah, look, see, I've got a copy of it on CD. Let's have a look at what's on here. Wouldn't it be nice? I like that one. Standard Beach Boys song, really, isn't it? You Still Believe in Me. That's like the second song, and you can tell somebody's up there because it's so boring. That's Not Me. But that's not me. That's not me. Oh, God, I don't like that. Don't Talk, Put Your Head on My Shoulder. Another Snoresville. Don't talk, put your head on my shoulder. All these melodies all over the place, aren't they? That's why everyone thinks it's clever. I'm Waiting for the Day. That's a bit more upbeat, that one is, isn't it? Let's Go Away for a While. And then Sloop John B. I hate Sloop John B. It's like rock and roll with all the rock and roll taken out of it. Just the you just got the left. God Only Knows masterpiece, of course. I know there's an answer here today. I just wasn't made for these times. Were you not, Brian? What times were you made for then? What sort of times would have Brian Wilson been the best in, would you say? Not the 1960s. I think he was quite good for the 1960s because he could get a record deal and make Pet Sounds and do all that stuff. I don't know what he would have done, say, if he'd have been born in, say, the medieval period. What would he have been doing then? Not much, I guess. Do you think he would have been happier then? But he seems to think he's not born for these sounds. Yeah, I mean, it's all right, isn't it? It's okay. Not good, solid 1960s albums. Beach Boys trying to stretch out from their sort of poppy roots, I suppose. Trying to take on the Beatles. Now, this next album I do really like, but I am going to have a go at it. That's the point. I can do that, you know. I'm sophisticated enough to be able to do that sort of moral task. And I'm going to do it right now. Right, this was the first album I ever bought by this band. And I bought it because in 1997, Q Magazine, do you remember Q Magazine? Right, the Q Magazine was not for the indie type fans. I wasn't one of those. It wasn't like the NME. And it wasn't like Wire, where you pull the experimental and jazz fans. It was really sort of almost like the Jeremy Clarkson of music magazines. Q was very, very 90s, I thought, you know. But I used to buy a copy of Q before the internet. When you were bored, you'd buy a copy of Q, then you'd open it up and you'd read about all sorts of bands. And anyway, this one month, they went the 100 greatest albums of all time. Now, this list might have affected this because, of course, we had all these here. London Calling was on it, you know, Pet Sounds was on it. They were all on it. But none of those made number one. When it got to number one, it was a newish band. I was quite surprised. I thought, my God, for a band to be able to bring an album out that year, the album had come out that year, 1997, I believe. Yes, 1997, got that right. For them to bring this album out and it'd be better than all the albums in human history, better than John Coltrane, better than Miles Davis, better than Duke Ellington, better than Led Zeppelin or the Beatles, better than the Clash or the Ramones or all these ones that the critics love, even better than all those. The critics were going, yeah, forget your Clash, forget them. You know, forget Lou Reed with his busy schedule of doing, you know, all those things he has to get through in the day, you know, to get the inspiration for his songs. You know, forget him. This band have usurped them all. So I went out and bought it, and surprise, I actually quite liked it. It was, of course, this OK Computer. I like this album, and I remember I took it home and I thought it's like depressing prog. Depressing prog. Now I thought Van der Graaf Generator had that sewn up, but then Radiohead, to give them their due, they come along in the 90s and they corner the market in progressive prog, which you would have thought would not have sold, but then they become everyone's favourite band and everyone's going on about them, you know, and it's like they're on the TV all the time. And this album comes out, sells millions, it makes it into millionaires, but also all the critics love it. It's great. It's a concept album. Airbag, I like that one. Paranoid Android, that's great. Subterranean Homesick Alien, that's quite good. Karma Police, that's good. No surprises. It's a great song. It's a great album. But really, is this even Radiohead's greatest album? If you like the Radiohead as a band, if you like that, then surely the Benz is a lot more exciting, which I also have in my collection. But for me, I bought this and I quite liked it, and I quite appreciated a band that was sort of exploring some odd time signatures and had some sort of science fiction-y type lyrics. I thought, this is prog, isn't it? They've conned all the trendies into liking prog. You know how they've done it? By being moody, posh and moody. Posh. They can't fight off, music critics cannot fight off posh and moody. I'm so depressed. It's like, their idea of a great British artist is basically Lord Byron. That's where it starts. That's where it starts then. That's why they love Nick Drake so much. Whoa, woe is me. I feel it so deep down within my system. I don't think I can go on anymore. I'm so alone. Don't want to answer the phone. My mummy keeps ringing me up all the time and asking me if I'm alright. But I'm posh and moody. I write lots of songs where I just move a major chord all over the place. I move it all over the place, and then I play a D, a the F in the bass, F in the bass, I'm F in the bass. I say, Mummy, won't you leave me alone? Mummy, leave me alone. But keep sending the money, 'cause if I ever need to get a job, I won't like it. Please let my trust fund pay me to write depressing songs. That's them ruined for everybody, I would say. Right, some of these albums I like now. I'm getting into the realm of albums I quite like, but they're just not as good as everybody said, and that's the bottom line. Because there is still something massively pretentious about these albums. This one, right? That's the greatest album ever made there, as far as Rolling Stone's concerned. This one here. Hey guys, we need to do these top 100 albums. What you gonna put at number one? I don't know really, but I think it needs to be somebody black. Definitely somebody black. Yeah, who are we gonna have? I don't know. Do you want to have Jay-Z? Yeah, I'm not so sure about Jay-Z. I mean, he's part of the establishment. We need someone that was a bit against the establishment. What, Gil Scott-Heron? No, that's far too. That's too far against. Just like a Goldilocks fella, black fella in the middle. You know, wrote some political songs, but doesn't upset anybody. Something that an album that people like. You know, is like it, but you know, is that we can make out was important. You know, by a great artist. What about Marvin Gaye? I like that because the thing is, we not only get the black, but we get the gays. No. But, Marvin Gaye was that. He wasn't gay. Are you sure? Yeah, I'm sure he wasn't gay. Or why they call him Marvin Gaye for? No, that's what they're not saying Marvin Gaye. They're not. They wouldn't do that. That's his surname, spelt completely different. But didn't he do all that? When I get that feeling, I want sexual. I think that was just normal sex. I don't think you could say normal sex. No, I didn't mean it like that. I just meant not, you know. See, if we come out talking like that in the Rolling Stone magazine, it's all going to go to pop. Now, well, I think subliminally, when they see the word gay at number one, that might help us really. So I'm going to go for Marvin Gaye. What's going on? It is a good album. It is a good album. I'll add to that little routine there. It is a good album. It is a good album. What's going on? What's happening, brother? Flying high in a friendly sky, save the children, God is love, mercy, mercy me, right on, holy, holy, inner city blues. The famous tunes, what's going on? Mercy, mercy me, inner city blues. Rest of them, okay. Playing's nice. It's not a bad album. I do really like this album. I listen to it a lot. But I do not understand why it's this. And it's not Inner Visions by Stevie Wonder, because that's way better than this, right? So why is it this one, right? What about Winter is in America by Gil Scott-Heron? Why is it not that, right? What about Marvin Gaye with the soundtrack to whatever that album, what was that one that he did? I've got it, amazing album. It's better than this, the one with Pusha Man on. Superfly. Why not that album? What about the live album by the fella who died? You know the one. Donny Hathaway. That's a better album than this, right? I like this album. I listen to a lot of funky soul. That is basically the music I like. I've got loads. It's something that doesn't come out on this channel for some reason, but most of the time I'm listening to Earth, Wind and Fire, or I'm listening to Parliament Funkadelic, Bootsy Collins, or I'm listening to Shaka Khan, or I'm listening to Donny Hathaway, or I'm listening to I'm listening to Jill Scott or Erykah Badu, that's what I like. That's the sort of stuff I actually like, I don't know that much about it, and I really like Marvin Gaye. My favourite Marvin Gaye album is The Greatest Hits, because you get all those wonderful songs. And I do like the one he did for his divorce. You remember that one? That's funny. Marvin Gaye's great. He got murdered, didn't he, by his dad? And look at him on the back here. He's out in the rain. Look at those collars. I mean, it's so 70s. Look at that shirt and collar. Look how handsome he is. Look what a handsome bloke he was. Beautiful voice. It's a good album. Not the greatest soul black funk album of all time. So why did the Rolling Stone put it at #1? And why have I got a copy of that and not one of the other albums that might be even better that I don't know about? Now, I just mentioned Parliament Funkadelic, right? I've got an issue with Funkadelic, right? The later albums are really good. Once they get their act together, their debut album, which is called Funkadelic, is absolutely appalling. It sounds like a real bunch of stoned hippies trying to sound like Jimi Hendrix, but with no decent songs and bad production. That's what the first album's like. I've got it. I've got all this, right? But the one that comes up over and over again as being a masterpiece is this one, Maggot Brain. This is not the best Funkadelic album. It's not. It's just not. And if somebody says to me that, you got to check out the 10-minute Maggot Brain where Eddie Hazel does that great big guitar solo, right? And we have to hail that as being one of the great guitar solos. It simply isn't. It's not Machine Gun by Jimi Hendrix, right? It's just not. Right? There's a million guitars. Even Dave Gilmour knows are doing, but it's great. Hit it and quit it, that's okay. It isn't a bad album. It's better than the first album. But I just don't think they got their act together. The production's not very good. The cover's amazing. Right? But why is this better than Free Your Ass and Your Mind Will Follow, which was the one that went before, and I think I like that more. But the later albums, like Electric Spanking War Babies and all those types, where they get really in a cross between like hard rock, psychedelic rock, prog, and funk, it's absolutely incredible. And I think that it's the same thing with Parliament Funkadelic. It's the same thing with Parliament. Those albums aren't that great, right? If you go and get a Bootsy Collins album, same line for people, that just sounds way better. If you go and get one of the Fred Wesley albums or the Maceo Parker album, Bride Adopts Her Funkenstein, or any of the sort of P-Funk spin-off like Cameo in the early days, it's all better. There is a big anomaly. I love George Clinton. I love Parliament Funkadelic. I love Brides of Dr. Funkenstein. I love it all. One Nation Under a Groove. That is Funkadelic's finest moment, is One Nation Under a Groove. Absolutely amazing. One of my favourite Parliament albums is Trombipulation. I know what I'm talking about when it comes to Parliament Funkadelic. And this is okay. It's a good album. But why this one? I tell you why, because of the cover. People like the cover. It's a cool cover. Maggot Brain. Brilliant title. But it's not actually that good. And the big Maggot Brain guitar solo. Now, the thing is, right, if you get, I'll see if I can find it. If you really want to know about Parliament Funkadelic, let's see if I can find this. Because I'm being serious here now. It'll be over here somewhere. Don't worry. I thought I was going to find this easy, but I'm not, am I? Right, there's going to be a bit more dead space now, but at least you can see me. I'm back. If you want to know about Parliament Funkadelic, right, I'll tell you the 2 albums you're going to get. Right, I'm going to do it right now. Here we go. These are my 2 favourite P-Funk albums. Not this one. That's the critics not knowing and just going on the cover. We've got 2 more albums to go, but these are the 2 I'd get. First off, go and get Classic P-Funk on the Jazz Master Cuts label. There's no P-Funk on there. There's no Parliament or Funkadelic on here. What you get on here is Fred Wesley and the Horny Horns. You get Cameo Funk Funk. That's like the most funkiest P-Funk tune ever made. You've got Disco to Go by Brides of Dr. Funkenstein. We Came to Funky by Fred Wesley and the Horny Horns. That is funky. You've got some Slaves on here, General Kane's on here. You've even got Red Hot Chili Peppers Hollywood, which is the remix. Now, that was produced by George Clinton, and on the remix, they brought in the JB horns, all that. It's incredible, really incredible. George Clinton's version of Tweaking, 80s, that's okay. Get Lucky, Well Read, that's really cool. Dog Talk, Kane Up Cool, that's okay. Loopzilla, that's okay. And then there's a bit, I can't even read that one at the end. But this here, this is the heaviest P-Funk album you're ever going to get. And I love that album. In fact, that's going in the car. That's how much I love that one. And also, check out Bill Laswell's reworking of Funkadelic on this one. Axiom Funk, Funkin' Omicron. And this here has versions of If 6 Was 9, that's incredible, with Eddie Hazel, really doing some brilliant stuff. Cosmic Slop. And I do believe there isn't a version of Maggot Brain on here, but there is another, I can't remember which track it is. It could be Cosmic Slop, I'm not too sure. It's not that one, is it? Where Eddie Hazel does do some mind-blowing guitar playing. That's going to go in the car as well. Have a bit of peace. This is what I listen to. You know, I've gone through all these albums. Now, to finish off, well, now we get to the last 2 on my 10. I've said 10 rubbish albums. That's just to get you in. Some of these albums aren't rubbish; they're actually quite good. So, but just that was just to get you here. It's what us YouTubers do. So, I've played progressive rock. I've been in progressive rock bands. We talk about progressive rock a lot. There's certain albums that people just go on and on and on about. And I have told myself, if a progressive rock fan's saying to go and buy some Marillion album or whatever it is, or maybe they're saying go and check this album out, you know, by Styx or Kansas, or you got to go get this krautrock album, don't listen to them. You'll be disappointed. But once I did, once I thought, right, I'm really going to have to get into this because this will be amazing. So I went and bought this album, Images and Words by Dream Theater. Now, I know that the mainstream media, they're never going to say that this is any good, right? But the proggers, this is a different they. The proggers will tell you that this is amazing. This is the album. This is the Dream Theater album that you need to get. And I've actually heard other Dream Theater albums that I like more than this one. So I went out and bought this and listened to it for about a week. I haven't listened to it since. I'm going to stick this in the car as well because I'm going to have a re-evaluation of this one. Pull Me Under, I know, Metropolis Part 1, you know, Under a Glass Moon, Another Day, Take the Time. I'll go back into this again, I think, and have another listen to it. But when I listened to it, it sounded like Iron Maiden, but with sort of hair metal 80s rock vocals, with tunes that went on for a long time and had some tricky bits in. That's what it sounded like to me. But all these elements were there, but I didn't like the way, I don't know, I've never really understood Dream Theater. I also hate that cover as well. That is so pretentious. It's such a pretentious prog cover. Loads of detail, loads of pseudo-intellectual bloody symbolism going on. A heart on fire with some bloody barbed wire around it, you know. A little girl, and what's she holding in her hand? I don't know. God, you know, it's like a bedroom with it. It's just also the moon outside the stars, you know. Bloody hell. 1992 is a long time ago now, isn't it? They've been going for a while. I think they're on their last legs now. They brought Portnoy back in. I thought that was going to be massive, and it went with a bit of a whimper. The first track came out, sounded like Dream Theater. I don't hear anyone really talking about the album. I don't even know if they did bring an album out, did they? No, they went on tour. Now, I'm going to finish with number 10 with a modern anomaly, which I think you should fight against. Right, in this modern world, the mainstream media try and make out that the new acts and new bands that are out there are just as good as the old ones, and they'll talk about them, and they'll go, "Oh, have you heard the new album by, you know, Charlie XCX? Oh, you got it. Oh, Maggot's amazing. That's a masterpiece, isn't it?" And what about Lemonade by Beyonce? That's one of the great concept albums of all time, you know. And you go and buy these albums, or you go and listen to them, and they'll be rubbish, and they're shallow, and they're just boring. Now, there has been a sort of resurgence of jazz rock, jazz fusion, whatever you want to call it. Here we had the little posh boy, what was he called? Jacob Collier, you know. Oh, what was this plummy a cappella-y type, you know, sounding somewhere between Al Jarreau and, I don't know, a choir boy. You know, Jacob Collier. So he came out with a bit of jazz thing going on. Kids all started liking him. Then you got Snarky Puppy, you got Via Wolfpeck, you had your Dirty Loops back in the old days. All these different people are coming out, and a whole bunch of people started to merge. Have you heard about this person? Have you heard Corey Wong? They'll say somebody like this, some name like Julian Large. Go and check it. Oh my God, there's all these amazing artists out there, and I'm thinking, well, a lot of them just sound like really the Fuzak end of jazz fusion. I mean, they can play and everything, but I ain't going to get pulled in by this. But then there's a few quirky ones. J.D. Beck and that girl with the blonde hair, you know, there's some quirky ones. And that one guy's emerged, and he's a jazz guy, but he's so quirky that he's ended up in like Star Wars films, and he's like been, you know, I saw him on a video jam with Ariana Grande. He's gone straight, he's a jazz guy. He's gone straight into the sort of mainstream media thing as well, and he's a virtuoso bass player, and I thought, I've got to go and buy his album then. Now, I wasn't a fool. I checked it out. The album I went and bought is this one, Thundercat, Drunk. So I put it on, and Rabbit Hole comes on, and that I quite like that. It's quite quirky and funny. I thought, I quite like this. And then Captain Stupido comes on, and then and goes into this really frantic, sort of almost like giant steps chord changes. And he's sewed into it. I thought, oh, this is a brilliant album. So I bought it, and it comes through and put it on. And those first three tracks are really good. And then after that, it just gets so boring. You know, it's all this, isn't it? It's all like this, all the chords, it's all I'm supposed to go, it's so clever, isn't it? You know, I mean, but he's so depressing. There's that little drum machines on, and he's singing in his falsetto voice, which I can't stick. And he's got all these silly, like, postmodernist lyrics about how he's combing his beard and he's left his wallet down at the bloody nightclub. And I checked out some of the videos, and there was one video where he was in a, you know, like little child's bath, and he got a gun and shot himself in the pants in the sensitive area. And I thought, we don't want kids seeing that type of thing. That put me off him a little bit, right? And then, you know, and then all the trendy YouTube media is coming out and says, you know, what's Thundercat got in his bag? What's his favourite bands? You know, why? And he's all being celebrated as though he's something special. And he's a good bass player. He's a good bass player. His brother's a good drummer. They're good players. They can play. I've got nothing against them, you know. I should be championing them, but that album is boring. And everyone, Michael McDonald, Kenny Loggins turns up on it. Lewis Cole turns up on it. You know, I like Lewis Cole. I've got his albums. I ain't going to pull those out. I enjoy those. So that was basically 10 albums that I parted money with because I got told by somebody that I thought, well, maybe they're right, whether it be a music critic or a friend or the fans of a certain genre. And I was stupid enough to go and part cash, knowing that it would be rubbish. And the other reason why I want to do this video is I have slated some of these albums before. I hope I did it in a different way and this was just as entertaining. So those of you who, because there's a massive fan base for this, you know, I can probably slag off Astral Weeks for a good 10 years. I mean, when Van Morrison dies, I don't know what I'm going to do, to be honest. And he is getting on, isn't he? He's about 80 now, isn't he? And he doesn't look healthy. I'm surprised he's got to this age, to be honest. Him and Clapton, I'm surprised they've got to. I mean, look at Cream. I mean, they all were indulgers in Cream, weren't they? But Jack Bruce is dead and Ginger Baker's dead. Clapton's still going. I don't know how, because he was all over the place. Just shows you, does it? If you can give up, this is what me, you know, knocking the old milkshakes on the head. If I can knock it, you know, I'm in my late 50s. My body should be able to work back up to strength again, shouldn't it? Which would be very good. I'll write a song about that when I get to that point. Anyway, the point is, and it's an overriding point of my videos, however silly I get, right, is that the mainstream media, the music critics, the people out there that think they know, the pretentious types, the educated elites, do not listen to them. And the more I do this channel, the more I realise that all the stuff that is held, even in the jazz things, even when it comes to the people we love, right? There's a real pretentiousness going on about the division of what's great and what's not great. I tell you that. Because no one really has a discerning enough ear to know. And then someone like me who has a very advanced musical ear, and I'm deeply musically educated, which is why I've got this channel. This is why you come and listen to my wisdom. Me and Rick Beato, we're cut from the same cloth, we are. You know, proper musicians that know what we're talking about, you know. And to my ears, a lot of this stuff's rubbish. But then I nearly picked out Steely Dan. I thought, I like Steely Dan, so I'll pick on Steely Dan. Old Beato loves Steely Dan. Anyway, I think I've got to the end of my video now. I hope you enjoyed that one. You know, hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoy my videos still. Don't forget about me. Who sang that? Don't you forget about me. Was that Simple Minds? I've had to go at them as well. Yeah. Right, done. Thank you. See you on the next one.